All right, so today, as the title said, we're reviewing the Flexcut Carving Knives Carvin Jack. This is the 2.0, the updated version. But before we get into that, if you're trying to learn about carving, especially carving realistic portraits, the human face, relief, wildlife, natural stuff like leaves and all that sort of thing, then my online school called Fundamentals of Wood Carving could be a great resource for those of you trying to expand your skills in carving. So check that out in the link below. And without further ado, let's get into this review. I'm excited to, it's kind of an unboxing slash review. So yeah, I'm excited to do it. Let's do it. All right, so Flexcut was nice enough to send me this kit. I asked them about it because I've been curious about this set, and so thanks to them for that. Now, I'm curious about this because, as I said, well, maybe I didn't say, maybe in a different version of the intro, but I camp a little bit, maybe once or twice a year, and when I do camp, I always like to have a really basic set with me, either a knife and a couple of gouges, and typically I'm bringing that Flexcut roll-up set. I didn't bring it out here, but you know, it's got that handle that you can insert different tools into and all that, but the point is, this is kind of all self-contained in one package, and I just think that's a super fun idea if you're trying to carve on the go, or if you're like, you know, if you're on vacation or something like that, which is kind of the primary use case as far as what I'm thinking about. So here it is. This is my unboxing. I don't know why I'm qualifying it that way, but all right, so far, some fireworks out there. Got our pamphlet. We can toss that and file it. What is that? Pluck it and file it. Oh, I'm forgetting the name of the YouTuber who says that. All right, so first of all, that's pretty cool. Little leather case, nice full hide, full grain leather, nice and sturdy. That's kind of pretty impressive, right? Yeah. Okay, so I've never really used these. I've seen these before, and I think I have one laying around somewhere. I don't use them very often, but it's nice to have if you don't have any other strops or a polishing wheel. A polishing wheel on an angle, or sorry, a bench grinder is really nice, but this is also really nice if you're on the go. Something to keep in your backpack, your bug out bag, or whatever if you're on a trip. So these will get the inside profiles of the blade. So you would want to dress them with the honing compound. It's kind of nice that this comes to a point so you can kind of get in the tighter areas. No, I'm a big fan. I've been using Flexcut. They sent me a gouge set a while back, and I've been really enjoying the use of the gouge set. Staying sharp. Yeah, I'm just overall impressed with Flexcut. I've always well, early on I had some skepticism about Flexcut because I don't know if they've changed a lot since I was a kid, but when I was a kid, just the idea of Flexcut drove me nuts, the idea of a flexible shaft tool, but they really aren't that way. They don't have flexible shafts, at least to my knowledge, most of the tools that I'm using. But okay, so already I'm seeing a locking mechanism, which I'm really liking that, because that means that these aren't going to fold back on you when you're carving. By the way, I've got a piece of 2x2 by whatever 4-inch basswood I'm going to be testing these on, or this on. Okay, nice. Yeah, that was a nice locking motion. Very sturdy feel to it overall. It's nice, heavy. Let's start with a knife. It's nice that these are nice wide locking mechanisms. That is, it's easy to push them. There's 2 of them on each side, so that's pretty straightforward to operate, which I like. Kind of hard to miss, whereas some of these pocket knives, it's kind of hard to find the little locking switch, or it's just a thin piece of metal that you're pushing down. Okay, so this is our, what is the name of this? Let's see. This is our Pelican. They're calling it a Pelican knife, but it's just a curved blade. Let's give this a shot. Okay, that's razor sharp. Very, very, very sharp. Like every bit as sharp as the skew knife that they sell. I mean, it's as sharp as you could want a knife to be. Now, I'm not putting it through its paces necessarily in one video, right? Obviously, but their standard of quality, I'm very happy with, and so you know, I trust that this is up to that standard. Although trust with verification. So I'm going to be doing a follow-up review on this after a while, just to note on the quality of it. I'm going to be using this for a while. Maybe in upcoming whittle videos, I'll be using this tool just as a way of giving it some exercise and seeing how the steel handle holds up rather. But so far that is very, very, very sharp. So if that steel is of the same quality that the other Flexcut blades I've used are, then this is already a win for me in that regard. That's a very sharp blade. Let's keep running through the different blades. Excuse my timer. Okay, so I've got, looks like a V-Scorp. Yeah, that's a V-Scorp. So this is the main V-tool. I don't think there's any other, yep, this is the V-tool that the tool offers. And I was reading reviews and people mentioned wanting to see a V-tool that they could push. I don't know why they didn't do a push V-tool on this. Okay, so there's a tiny bit of play in that locking mechanism on this V-tool. Marginal, won't really affect your carvings too much, I don't think, hopefully. Of course there's gotta be a bee attacking me. Just got stung yesterday and had to go to the hospital, so now I'm all on high alert. Anyway, come on, shoo! All right, see how the V-tool is. Yeah, so do I agree? Would I like to see a V-tool that was push rather than Scorp? Yeah, I agree. I'd love to see that in their next model. I can already tell you right now that this is gonna be not quite as comfortable for me as like a push V-tool, just by virtue of having grown up using a push V-tool. Just kind of what everyone's used to. Although, I don't know, I'm sure there are some benefits to a pull V-tool, or rather a Scorp V-tool. I'm not sure what those are. I'm trying to think of what they are. Oh look, okay, there's one downside. I already poked myself. Trying to, I mean, I can't blame the tool for that. That was on me. Just barely poked myself though. Anyway, point is, it's very sharp, and it's fine. I'd like to see a push V on that, but that's not like a make it or break it type thing for me. Let me make sure that this, let me just throw a little band-aid on this. It looks pretty, it's pretty minor, but let me do that really quick. I've lived to tell the tale, guys. A little, it didn't even bleed. It barely bled, so I don't need a band-aid, but anyway. Yeah, so needless to say, I'm not used to the Scorp yet, but I do think it'll be fine. It's just, I wonder if that'll kind of get in the way of some, well, the nice thing with whittling and holding the piece of wood is you'll be able to kind of articulate the wood. But yeah, of course, definitely would rather see a push V-tool than a Scorp style one. All right, I've said it too many times. Moving on. Let's see what else we got here. We got a straight blade. Let's check out the straight blade. This is called a detail knife, but by my standards, this is about as long as a knife as I'll need. It looks to be about 1.5 inches, so that's about the length of knife that I use. Oh yeah, super duper sharp. So, and you kind of expect that when it comes to a Flexcut, so that's cool. Oh yeah, that is so sharp. Happy with that. The profile is pretty straightforward. It's just a straight blade and a slight bevel or angle at the top of the butt of the knife. All right, let's see what we got here. This is our, what do they call this? A gouge Scorp. So it looks like about a number 8. Yeah, I'd rather see this be a number 9. But I don't know what there's another gouge here, so I don't know what that one is, and it's not really written. Again, with the Scorps, I'm just not used to them. But my goodness, that is so sharp. So stinking sharp. Crazy sharp. So, yeah, that could be useful. I like that. I like that. Now, thank God they have the straight gouge in here. Okay, and that does look like a 9 or maybe even a 10 because of the taller sidewalls. And so this is the saving grace of this tool, the fact that there's a push gouge. That is awesome. I wish they would just make that V-tool a push V-tool. I said it 3 times, and I hope they're listening. But otherwise, it's razor sharp, pretty firm, teeny tiny bit of play. But overall feels very sturdy in the hand. It doesn't feel cheap and chintzy. It feels like a quality tool. And yeah, I mean, these blades are super duper sharp. I don't see any issues with them. Oh, see, now I had to go and say that. This one might need a little stropping. Let's check that out. Let's see if we can't fix that with a little strop. So, bevel, it's that guy right here. I'm just going to drag it straight across. Now when you're stropping with the inside bevel, you don't want to hike the angle up at all. You want to keep it as flat to the strop as possible and drag it back. Okay, do a little compound here, drag this across. Again, there's a tiny bit of play in this tool, so that's better. Had a little bit of a burr type situation, a little minor imperfection, but it still cut very well, so that's good. What else we got here? We tested that. Okay, what we haven't tested yet is the hook knife. So this is ideal for like spoons and roughing out sort of thing. It's actually cool to have this. I really dig this. If you're going to be carving at a campsite, how fun is it to be able to make a spoon? I think that's so practical and neat. And yeah, it's razor sharp, of course. That's good. Kind of come to expect that. I think that's a really cool profile. And yeah, I can see how it'd be impossible to fit this profile any other way but in a scorp or hook style off to the side. You couldn't put this facing forward. It wouldn't fit in the profile of the blade. So I do get the rationale behind using the, of course then it is a hook knife, so that's the nature of the tool. It's great for spoon carving. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, so I mean overall my impression of this thing is that it's a quality piece of equipment. Run through all the tools, it seems they're very sharp. With there's a tiny minor blemish in that that smaller straight gouge, that number 9 or 10. But otherwise, I would say the biggest downsides to this thing. Let's go through pros and cons. Let's start with cons. Is that the V-tool, again, I've said it 6 times already, is not straight. I'd rather see a straight V-tool. Obviously, I'm not used to it. I give myself a tiny nick, which, pretty usual in the day in the life of a whittler. But it shouldn't be, though. Right? Other than that, I mean, the quality of the tools is what you'd come to expect from Flexcut. The feel of the tool it's very solid. It's aluminum. It's got a nice fit and finish. I'm actually really curious if tightening up, and I'm going to do a follow-up video. I'm going to play with this a bit more. I wonder if tightening up these, what are these, hex heads, would improve the tiny bit of play. There's a tiny bit of forward and backward play, this way and this way. It's not dramatic, and it's not enough to impact the tool or make me feel like unsafe when I'm carving. Because most of the time, you're really only pushing, you're only going in one direction. And it doesn't seem to rock a whole lot while you're doing that. I'm not noticing that, at least. I'm not noticing any of that, really. So that is a concern. Of a minor degree. But otherwise, it's a sweet knife. I'm excited to bring this to the campsite. I think there's really not much else like this. I know, who is it, Old Timer? There's a Chinese kind of brand that makes a version of this that I'd also like to try. Maybe I'll do a side-by-side comparison of these two. Because I love the idea of having, 6 carving tools in one little pocket-friendly device. So anyway, that said, this is my review of the set. It seems like everything, like I said, everything cut well. I guess I didn't do the pros. We'll do the pros. I love cons, don't I? Okay, so the pros are obviously the compactness. It's actually smaller than I thought it was going to be. Next to my hand, it's really not that bulky. It's pretty awesome how contained everything is. Of course, the other pros, as I mentioned before, are that you have 6 different tools. You've got a detail knife, you got a straight gouge, you got a hook knife, you got a V-scorp, gouge scorp, Pelican knife. Two different blades, two different knives here. I really like the Pelican. I like the addition of that. That was fun. The hook knife is great. Straight gouge, that's a game changer. The fact that they included that makes me very happy. I don't understand why they had the Scorp gouge, but I guess, you know, allows people to get into like, I guess more of a spoon gouge mindset, I guess. So like a handheld type thing. I don't get that, but that's not my world. So yeah, I'm happy with the variety of blades in here. Maybe I'd have liked to have seen a slightly smaller V head profile to get in tighter areas, because typically with this you're going to be making smaller carvings, and especially with portrait carving it's going to be kind of hard to get into the tighter corners. Although, I mean, I wouldn't want to go much smaller, so maybe that's just kind of like an unnecessary quibble that I have with it, but you'll be able to do most things with this V tool, and it's sharp, and it's kind of interesting. But yeah, and then the fact that the tools, the steel quality, from what I know of Flexcut, it's probably going to be good. I can't verify that, of course, because I haven't used this tool for a whole lot of time. I just opened it, but I'm going to do a follow-up video verifying the quality. So far, you get the quality of Flexcut in terms of the steel, you know, Rockwell hardness of the low 60s in their tools. It's a high carbon steel. They're razor sharp, so they come super duper sharp. You've got a strop, you've got honing compound. It's kind of a complete kit, and the fact that you can also put this through a belt loop and you have a really nice leather pouch makes this really fun for camping, fun for a vacation if you're doing something outdoors or some hiking, or you know, you want to sit in a camp chair in the woods and do a little carving without having to be in your wood shop. Very cool. I'm excited to see what the 3.0 comes out, what that looks like if they do update it again, because hopefully they can get rid of that little tiny bit of play. It's more just of a pet peeve than anything else, but really nice. Yeah, I'm excited about this. Nice set. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Overall, I would say if you're looking for something like this, I don't know that there's a lot else that's going to compete with it. I mean, I'm fairly certain that the old timer, the cheaper version, isn't going to be to this standard of quality, but I'll do a side-by-side comparison in the future here. But okay, guys, thanks for watching. Talk to you. Bye.